You know that feeling when you finally decide to upgrade your backyard and you end up splurging on a budget patio set that folds up after one summer? I've been there, the cheap aluminum frames that rust the first rain, cushions that turn pink after a few weeks in the sun, and a whole lot of disappointment that makes you wonder if you should have just stuck with the old fold-up chairs. That regret is why I spent a few evenings scrolling through forums, watching a couple of unboxing videos, and actually measuring my own patio space before I even thought about the Patio 7-piece sectional. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. What makes a patio set feel like a smart buy isn't just the price tag, it's how it behaves when you actually sit on it, host a dinner, or let the kids tumble onto a daybed after school. The Patio set promises all-weather durability, a convertible twin daybed, and a modular layout that can be rearranged to suit a dinner party or a lazy Sunday lounge. Those claims sound good on paper, but the real question is whether the pieces live up to the hype when you're dealing with wind, sun, and the occasional spilled drink. First off, let's talk about the construction. The frame is marketed as premium rustproof, and it really is powder-coated steel that stays cool to the touch even on a scorching July afternoon. In my own test, I left the tables and sofas out for a full week without any sign of surface corrosion, which is a relief because I've seen cheaper sets develop orange spots in just a couple of days. The tabletop is an HPL surface high-pressure laminate that resists scratches from plates, glasses, and even a stray grill spatula. You can set a whole brunch spread on it and wipe it clean with a damp cloth, there's no lingering stain or ghosting. The cushions are wrapped in a premium olefin fabric. Olefin is a synthetic fiber that repels water and dries quickly, so you won't be stuck with a soggy seat after a sudden summer shower. The fabric also holds up to UV exposure better than many polyester blends, which means the color stays true and the texture doesn't become brittle. I noticed after a month of regular use that the cushions retained their firmness, they didn't flatten under the weight of a couple of adults and a dog. That's a practical strength you don't always get with cheaper foam-filled cushions that turn mushy after a season. Now, the modular versatility is where the set really shows its personality. The sectional is broken into 3 sofa sections, 2 armchairs, a twin daybed, and 2 side tables. Because each piece has its own connector, you can configure the layout into an L shape for a family movie night, or swing the daybed out to the middle for a sunbathing spot. When my cousins visited, we pushed the daybed into the center, added a couple of throw pillows, and turned the whole arrangement into a makeshift poolside lounge. The daybed folds down into a twin-size sleeping surface with a simple pull-out mechanism, no hidden levers or confusing instructions. It's a neat solution if you occasionally host overnight guests or if you want a spot for kids to nap after a day of playing in the yard. There are, however, a few trade-offs that are worth mentioning before you click Add to Cart. The set does not include a built-in umbrella or a storage box for cushions, so you'll need to think about shade and cushion protection separately. In my case, a freestanding umbrella on a metal pole solved the shade issue, but that adds another piece to the overall patio footprint. Also, the tables, while sturdy, sit a bit lower than the height of the sofa armrests, which can make reaching for a drink a little awkward if you're sitting upright for an extended period. A quick fix is to add a small riser under the tabletop, but that's an extra step you might not anticipate. Who should consider buying this set? If you have a medium to large patio or a backyard where you entertain regularly, the modular design gives you flexibility without having to buy multiple pieces separately. The rust-proof frame and UV-resistant fabric are a boon for anyone living in a humid climate or an area that gets intense sunlight. Families with kids will appreciate the daybed's quick conversion and the fact that the cushions dry quickly after a spill. The set also works for people who like to host dinner parties because the HPL tables can handle heavy platters, and the low-profile design still leaves enough room for a buffet line. On the flip side, if your outdoor space is tiny, say a balcony or a narrow patio, the 7-piece arrangement might feel cramped even after you rearrange it. Minimalists who prefer a single sleek lounge chair might find the modularity excessive and the extra pieces unnecessary. And if you're strictly budget conscious, the price point sits above entry-level sets. You're paying for the rust-proof steel, the olefin fabric, and the interchangeable daybed. That's a value proposition only if you plan to keep the furniture.